Hi everyone, I never thought I'd be posting here. Me, M31, and my wife, F27, have been together about 6 years. We have a 5-year-old daughter. For the last few months, my wife started acting differently. She kept rejecting intimacy, and for about 3 months, we only had sex maybe 1 to 2 times a month. I tried talking to her multiple times, but she always said nothing was wrong. Then one day, after I pushed for answers, she said she doesn't see a point in continuing our relationship and that we're more like friends. This actually happened once before, about 2 years ago. Back then, I worked hard to improve myself and our relationship. Since then, we bought a house 6 months ago, renovated it, bought furniture, and even went on holidays to 2 countries. I thought we were rebuilding. Hearing this again destroyed me. After a few days of barely speaking, I told her I wanted to try one last time. She agreed. We talked about what each of us needed and promised to work on things. A couple of days later, a friend told me he saw my wife getting dropped off by a van a few streets away from our house. He couldn't see who was driving. I confronted her and she said she didn't know what I was talking about. The next week, she went to her course every Tuesday. She texted saying she had an exam and would be home around 10 p.m. When she came back, she said she went for drinks with a female friend. That night, she initiated intimacy, which hadn't happened in a long time. I thought maybe things were finally improving. 2 days later, I noticed a 33-pound charge on our joint account from an online doctor. I didn't know what it was, so I actually used ChatGPT to ask what that kind of charge usually is. It said it was most likely for a morning after pill. I thought maybe I was overthinking. The next day, when taking out the trash, I found the morning after pill package. I completely broke down. I confronted her. She said it wasn't hers and claimed it belonged to her friend who drives her to the course. I told her to call that friend and confirm it, or we're done. She refused, saying she promised not to tell, so I said we're divorcing. The next day, we started filing for divorce online. We just bought this house and put everything into it. Neither of us can afford it alone. It's a complete mess. While doing the paperwork, she used ChatGPT on her laptop. I noticed she was logged into her account and saw history related to the morning after pill. That night, after she went to bed and I slept on the couch, I opened her laptop and looked through her ChatGPT history. What I found broke me. For about 3 hours, I read everything and took photos. She had been chatting with multiple men, sexting, planning meetups, talking about FaceTiming while I was at work. There were at least 4 regular contacts plus others. She was using ChatGPT to rephrase messages in English and to help reply to these men. She wrote about having sex with different men, sometimes multiple in the same day, unprotected. She talked about men finishing inside her and whether she should take a morning after pill. She wrote that she had sex 2 days ago and was planning to do it again. All while coming home to me and our daughter. Throughout our relationship, she always made me feel like I was the problem, that I wasn't enough. Now I see she was living a double life. I feel destroyed, angry, numb, and lost. I don't even know where to start, emotionally, legally, or financially. I guess I'm posting to ask, how do you even begin to process this? Any advice for protecting myself legally and financially? How do I stay strong for my daughter? Thanks for reading.
I can't wrap my head around how a human being could do this to another human being. This is evil. I need to share this because I am in a world of pain and heartache. My wife left me and my 5 young kids on New Year's Day 2026 after finding some very inappropriate messages between my wife and our neighbor on my daughter's iPad on New Year's Eve. I confronted my wife after kids went to bed. After asking her 5 times if she had anything to tell me, I asked her if she was having an affair. She denied. Then I read the messages I screenshotted. She finally admitted to an emotional affair for all of 2025. I told her I forgive her, but this was wrong and we needed to go and end it with the neighbor. The next morning, I said, let's go end it. She refused and left at noon. She didn't check in to see how her kids were doing until the following Tuesday. A week goes by and she served me divorce papers. We are currently doing 50-50 split with the kids for visitation. We've decided to sell the home. I've pleaded with her to restart this marriage and seek counseling with me over and over and over. I've wept before her to consider our kids' future and hers too. She has no heart to reconcile with me. For the sake of our kids, she still doesn't want to. I feel like my life is over. I have been a faithful husband for 14 years. I have loved our kids unconditionally, and that will never change. I am not an abuser, alcoholic, or drug addict. I work a lot and have provided her a life to be a stay at home mom. She is choosing this, and now she will need to get a job and see her kids half the time. Our marriage has had tough times, but nothing like this. She admits she shut down and gave up a year ago. I would have liked to have known her heart so we could fight for this marriage. That was stolen from me. She is 35 years old and the AP is 59. She says she broke it off and deleted his number, but it's hard to trust her. I still hope for reconciliation. I want my kids to have a home with both parents. I've cried more in January and February than any time in my whole life. I'm filled every day with sadness, depression, worry, anxiety, and absolute anger. How can I provide for 5 kids and be the best single dad for them? How did other men get through this? My family, friends, and church have been huge supports for me, but they can't know the minute to minute pain I'm living through. My heart is for my wife and my kids. I lost 30 pounds in January due to not eating much and being depressed. How do other single dads manage to raise kids when it's a two-person job? My job allows me to work from home a couple days a week, so I guess that will be my future. Looking at a rental home for my kids and myself in the country, but my house needs to sell first. I cannot pay child support, all my bills, and mortgage. I can't imagine a life without my wife, but she is choosing this path. I want her back because I love her and the life we built, but it's tearing me and my kids up. I weep for my kids when I'm at work and by myself. Is anyone out there? How is this fair? I will add, she had an affair 14 years ago after being married to me for 5 months. I forgave her and we moved on. So there has been tension here and there throughout our marriage. I don't feel like I deserve this as a human being. My kids definitely didn't deserve this. I'm still wanting reconciliation. But there are moments when I say to myself, she shut down and didn't tell you, then slept with the 59-year-old neighbor for an entire year, then abandoned kids and me on New Year's Day, and then served me divorce papers a week later. If she wants this divorce, then let her go. I have to believe there is a solid woman out there who will love me someday and communicate with me and love my kids like her own. It's hard to see that now because I grieve from the moment I wake up until I go to bed. I get up several times a night with thoughts of worry and anxiety. I'm struggling. I need to know the future will get better. I need to know my kids will be okay. I love them dearly and cry every time I have to switch with my wife because it's so painful to not see them every day and night. My oldest boy, who is 9, sleeps next to me every night. I have them in my bedroom. He is the tough one, but he needs his daddy in this time, and it helps him sleep to know him right there. And honestly, I'm going through such hell, I don't mind it either. He gave me one of his stuffed toys to sleep with when he's with his mom because he doesn't want me to be lonely. Talk about your heart being ripped out. Is there anyone out there that has gone through this? Your wife has an affair, and then she's the one that seeks divorce. I'm the one that should be divorcing her. Eve heavily been in the stage of depression and sadness. I feel like I'm more angry and pissed now for what she did to me, but more so what she's doing to my kids. The future they should have had will now be broken, and their mom is the one who broke it.